I guess for everyone who doesn't like the fact that the Yankees are running it back in 2026, you guys get a little bit of a breath of fresh air, as the Yankees will not apparently be bringing Jasson Dominguez with them into the Yankees opening day roster. What's going on, guys? King of 161st Gen, back another video, and this rumor or decision by the New York Yankees has me very confused. I am very in between thoughts here. So I'm gonna lay out all of my thoughts, and I want you to tell me what you think about this. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's get right into it. First thing I want to get out before we even start this. Aaron Boone was on WFAN not a long time ago, and one of the things they brought up with him was how the locker room seems like it's very close-knit and how not many rumors get out of that locker room. You don't hear all the stories like you do out of other teams' locker rooms come out of the Yankees locker room. And Aaron Boone brought up about how it's all because the right people are in there. The problem is all the same rumors come out of the front office. Somehow, some way, these leaks find their way into these reporters' hands way before the Yankees decide to do them. I don't know if in this instance, it's just getting tired of the offseason and people are looking for a story, or if this is actually a leak coming from the Yankees and from Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. My question is, how is it getting out? Why are you leaking this type of information? And who are you telling if this is not purposeful? That is so loose with their information that they would then give it to reporters. And why would you keep giving them information if this keeps happening? It just baffles me that the locker room is so tight-knit and everything stays behind closed doors. But once you get to that front office, you could get anything out of them. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but that's just something that has irked me about this. But let's get into Jasson Dominguez not being a part of the 2026 Yankees. Jasson Dominguez will start 2026 in AAA, not with the Major League roster. Like I said, I am very confused. I am very in between thoughts on this. On one hand, I see where the Yankees are coming from. Jasson Dominguez is a couple days removed from turning 23 years old. He is a year younger than me. This is not someone who has been festering in the minor leagues through their 20s. This is someone who is just getting into their adulthood. So I could see the Yankees' thought process of saying, look, 2025 did not fully go his way. Partially because of his play, but partially because of the circumstances around him. Going into 2025, I think you, me, and everyone in the Yankees universe, including Brian Cashman, Hal Steinbrenner, Aaron Boone, every single person in that organization thought Jasson Dominguez was getting a majority of the at-bats. They thought he was at least going to get 400 at-bats. Let him get a full sample size in Major League Baseball to prove he belongs. I don't think anyone saw the emergence of Trent Grisham happening. And once that happened, all hell breaks loose. Jasson Dominguez loses all his playing time. He drops to below 400 at-bats, getting only 381 on the year. But like I said before, part of this is because of how he played. In those 381 at-bats, he put up a 257 at-batting average. So I guess a lot of old heads would say that's not that bad compared to some of the other guys we have. Well, look a little deeper. 331 on base percentage is not the worst thing you'll ever see, but a 388 slug, especially for a player like Jasson Dominguez who relies on his power a lot, not really something you want to see, which led him to a 719 OPS, which is a 101 OPS plus. It was around that average mark. Not a terrible rookie year by any stretch of the imagination. There are a lot of rookies who wish they had that stat line, especially in that amount of at-bats. The problem is, for what the Yankees need, he may not be where the Yankees need him to be. The Yankees need their outfielders to supply them with a little bit more power than that. Putting up a 388 slug is not going to cut it in today's Major League Baseball unless you are putting up Luis Arraez numbers with Chandler Simpson speed. You're going to have to raise that up. Part of that had to do with the fact that A, he could not hit a lefty. He had a 45% ground ball rate, only a 20% line drive rate with a 27% fly ball rate. When you hit the ball on the ground and you don't have Chandler Simpson speed, you're limiting your chances at success, especially for someone with the power of Jasson Dominguez with the short porch. When he's batting from the left side, you would love to see him get the ball in the air so much more, especially with that 49.6% hard hit rate. If you flipped his fly ball and ground ball numbers, he probably gets 25 home runs. So there are a lot of things that Jasson Dominguez needs to work on when it comes to his bat path, his decision making at the plate. All of these things come together in this decision. The other side of my brain, though, tells me, what are you doing to this kid's confidence by sending him back down to AAA? Like I said before, you did not give him the sample size that you thought you were going to give him. Maybe he was working these kinks out. Maybe James Rowson was starting to fix some of these ground ball issues. We never got to know because Trent Grisham took the lion's share of his at-bats. And especially for someone as young as Jasson Dominguez, like I said, he just turned 23, which means for all of 2025, he was 22 years old. At 22 years old, you need rhythm. You need consistency. Jasson Dominguez was not awarded that consistency. So after not being awarded that consistency and returning the favor by being inconsistent, you're now further punishing him by putting him back in the minor leagues. This is someone who, when he first gets signed by the Yankees, people are comparing him to Bo Jackson, Mike Trout, and Mickey Mantle. That is such a boulder of pressure on his back at that point, at 16 years old. And he handled it like a champ. And even when people started calling him a bust because he didn't come out of the gates looking like Mike Trout or Mickey Mantle or Bo Jackson, because who the fuck looks like Bo Jackson or Mickey Mantle at 16 years old? He handled it like a pro, worked his way through the minor leagues, dominated there, was able to earn his shot, goes up against Justin Verlander in his first at-bat as a major leaguer and hits an opposite field home run. This is someone who the Yankees have thrown to the fire at all levels, and he has handled it with such grace. And he did the same last year. He never sulked his head. He never seemed like he was pouting or anything like that. He always seemed to show up to try and do his business. And the Yankees are repaying him by saying, yeah, you're going back to the minor leagues. Especially when you have someone on this roster who has gotten far more leeway than Jasson Dominguez. And his name is Anthony Volpe. Now, there are meaningful differences between Volpe and Dominguez, other than the fact that they play different positions. Volpe, except for last year, usually has a high floor in terms of value because of his defensive prowess. Like I said, last year, notwithstanding. With Jasson Dominguez, it is kind of the opposite. He has to hit in order to give you value because defensively, he looks kind of lost. To me, I think the Yankees should at least experiment with keeping Jasson Dominguez in center field a little bit more, because in center field, it's all about athleticism, it's all about timing, and it's all about reading the fly ball. When it comes to the corner outfields, there's a lot more angles that are involved that I don't think Jasson Dominguez has all the way prepared for. I think he's used to being a center fielder, and if you put him in center field, he probably would look a little bit more competent, especially with his competition being a center fielder in Trent Grisham. You might want to see what exactly you have at Jasson Dominguez's primary position. But back to the subject at hand, Anthony Volpe is now going to come into year 4 of his major league career. And in Anthony Volpe's entire career, he has A, never gotten to a 257 batting average, but B, and probably most importantly offensively, he has never had a 700 OPS. Jasson Dominguez did that in his first full season, mind you, without regular at-bats, which makes it somewhat more impressive to look at Jasson Dominguez and say, that guy does not deserve to be in the major leagues. But to look at Anthony Volpe doing a lot worse at a much more prudent position and say, you're doing great, buddy, keep going. I could see where the confidence would just deteriorate for Jasson Dominguez. And I get it, it's professional sports. Of course there's going to be double standards. Not everyone is treated equally. It's life. But in this situation, I don't see how that doesn't weigh on a player. When they've handled everything you've thrown at them. When they've come out and made it to the major leagues with that boulder of pressure of having Mike Trout, Mickey Mantle, and Bo Jackson as your player comps, dominating through the minor league system, and coming into 2025 in your rookie season and having a very nice rookie year. Like I said, a lot of rookies, even Anthony Volpe, would probably wish they had that type of rookie season. You might want a little bit more power there, but overall, it was not a bad rookie season. And another piece of this that I think is getting a little bit lost here is, what does that mean for Spencer Jones? Because there's not many rumors out there about the Yankees shopping Jasson Dominguez right now. There's not many rumors about them shopping Spencer Jones. That might be something they're keeping close to the vest, but if that's true and they're not shopping both of them and Jasson Dominguez is starting his year in AAA, does that mean Spencer Jones is getting his turn, coming up to the major leagues and starting on the bench? Does that mean he's also going to start this year at AAA? Because Spencer Jones has also handled everything well. He has dominated through AAA, especially last year where he was at least top 3 in minor league baseball in home runs. At some point, you have to give these guys burn, and I get it. You have the veterans. You just paid a lot of money for Cody Bellinger. Trent Grisham is on a 1-year contract that is worth over $20 million, but at some point, these guys have to get regular major league run. And it's just confusing to me whether or not they're making the right decision on keeping Jasson Dominguez in AAA in 2026 instead of having him with this major league roster. But this is where I hand it off to you. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with the first me saying you don't have to rush Jasson Dominguez into being an everyday player, work on fly ball rate, work on the power side of things, work on your defense, and then come back to the major leagues when Trent Grisham's not with the New York Yankees? Or do you agree with the second side of me that's saying you didn't really give him a chance to prove himself? Let me know in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Coming out soon with my official predictions for the World Baseball Classic. You don't want to miss that. So subscribe with post notifications on so you don't miss that video. But until then, I'm out of here. Take care and peace.